Sr., Bugs in the Night. Andrew Cretella, Sr., Bugs in the Night.
This is my Halloween story. It's a strange tale. You may have heard it before, but it will still make your skin crawl. But fear not, all's well in the end. The stillness of the night was shattered by the little boy's scream. His parents sprang from their bed, ran to his room, and threw on the light. The father sat on the edge of the bed and said, "What's the matter, buddy?" The little boy was cowering under the covers. "It's the bugs," he said. "The bugs." "What bugs?" said the father. "Where?" "They're all over," said the little boy. "They're all over." The father said, "I don't see any bugs." The little boy lowered the covers and looked around. The father drew closer to him, looked him in the eyes and said, "I don't see any bugs. Do you?" The little boy said, "No." The father said, "All right, now you've given us a good scare. We've all had a good scare. So let's go back to sleep, okay?" "Okay," said the little boy. The parents tucked the boy in, kissed him goodnight, and left the room. As he was leaving the room, the father, as he turned out the light, said, "I'll be right down the hall if you need me, buddy. Good night." "Good night," said the boy. But it was not a good night. The boy lay there in the darkness. He couldn't sleep. He couldn't move. His eyes were wide awake, wide open. All he could think about were the bugs. It made his skin crawl. After what seemed like an eternity, he slipped out of bed and walked down the hall to his parents' room. He stepped into the doorway and he called out, "Mom? Dad?" But there was no answer. He stepped into the room and he said, "Mom? Dad?" Still no answer. He reached up and he turned on the light. "Mom! Dad!" he called out. And again, no answer. He looked at the bed. All he could see were the covers on the bed. And they seemed to be moving ever so slightly, like waves in the ocean. He reached out with his tiny hand and he grabbed the covers. He started pulling them towards him. And as he did that, he stood up on tiptoes and looked into the bed, looking for any sign of his mother or father. But as he pulled the covers off the bed, all he saw were millions of shiny black bugs crawling all over each other. The little boy closed his eyes, threw his head back, and screamed. But this was no ordinary scream. This was a scream that was so powerful that it ricocheted and reverberated off of every wall and every surface in the house. This was a scream that was so powerful that it shook and rattled every window in the house. This was a scream that was so powerful that it actually woke the boy up. He sat up. He was in his own bed. He saw the morning sunlight streaming in through the nearby window. It was all a dream, he thought. Or was it? "Mom? Dad?" he called out. But there was no answer. "Mom! Dad!" he called out. Again, no answer. "Mom! Dad!" he called out. "What is it?" said his father from the next room. "What's for breakfast?" said the boy. And he didn't even wait for an answer. He fell back down on his bed and pulled his covers around him. He was giddy with relief. He was safe and secure in his own bed. A smile played on his lips. He had a secret dream, something that only he knew about. It was his and his alone. He would share it with no one, perhaps one day with some friends, but until that day, it would be his and his alone. Until that day, he, and only he, knew the strange tale, the horrible tale the weird, wacky, and wonderful tale of the bugs. The bugs in the night. Happy Halloween.